there! Today we're gonna read 10 of the worst reviews online of the Ocean El Faro in Punta Cana and compare them with our own experience to help you decide if this is the right hotel for you. This first review is titled Disappointed because trying to book a reservation for any of the restaurants was a nightmare. It's done through their website, which crashes every time reservation time came. So you had to wake up early to get in queue to confirm the reservations are full. We did experience major issues while trying to use the website to book the restaurants for the French restaurant our first night there. At check-in, they gave us a QR code to scan that would take us to a website for the hotel, which we were instructed to use to make the reservation. We made the reservation using the website and it did confirm the reservation. An hour before dinner, we called the front desk to confirm a reservation at the French restaurant and they couldn't find it. They told us it didn't exist. And the person even at the phone didn't even know about the website. And she told us, what website? We don't use a website to book restaurants. You need to come to guest services. So we proceeded to go to the French restaurant, our assigned time at 8 o'clock. And it was true. We didn't have a reservation. It didn't show our name. So we complained to the person at the door. And after a while, she recognized that they were in the wrong. And she even offered to make all the reservations from that moment on for all the other nights we would stay there. But that was like an exception. We did notice many other people having the same problem while trying to reserve a restaurant for dinner. This review paints a more complete picture about the dinner situation. She says, dinner, total joke. If you show up for dinner, they tell you it's an hour to 2 hour wait. Only 30% of the tables are full. They are just understaffed. I think they do this so you go eat at the buffet. There are 4 restaurants, but they cycle 2 open a night. We did notice this and even commented on how weird it was that so many tables were empty, but people are being turned away from the door because the restaurant is quote-unquote full. We don't know if they're trying to save food, if they're trying to get you to go to the buffet, or if they are indeed understaffed, which I think that is the more reasonable explanation for the whole situation. But we found it ridiculous that the restaurants, they don't open all the restaurants every night, they do alter them. And even that way, they don't fill them up, which was ridiculous because so many people were in line and being turned away. We could only get in because of what I told you earlier, that a staff from the hotel made our reservation and made sure we got in. We didn't tip her or anything. I don't know why she did that for us, but that's the only way we could get in. And many people were indeed being turned away.
This reviewer had the worst experience ever. The room smell was dirty and there was 1 bottle of water and 1 soda in the mini fridge. The whole atmosphere felt like a 900 room Motel 6. In our experience, we have to agree with this review because the cleaning, we found it to be lacking. If you enter to the bathroom didn't feel clean, sparkling clean. It had some details that you could see that it wasn't properly clean. Our room also smells super weird, like humid, and my sister's room too. And also the mini fridge. When we first entered to the room, we only have, I think it was like 1 or 2 bottles of soda and that was it. Then I guess someone got into the room and it was full when the next time we open it, so they fixed that. It seems like the person that cleans the room is not the person in charge of filling the mini fridge, but yeah, we have the same problem too. This reviewer continues to say that the landscape is ugly, the pools are generic, and everything is so spread out. You need a golf cart to get around unless you want to walk miles every day. We found the landscape to be actually beautiful and the pools are nice. They're not generic. We really like the pools and all the landscape. The hotel is indeed very big, and yes, they have a go like a train, and you can use it to move around the hotel. But in terms of everything that you need, you have everything very close. For example, if you're in the pool and and you want to go to your room, you don't have to walk a lot. Now, if you are at the beach and you need to go to the reception, yes, you need to walk a lot. But there's a train that you can use to go around the hotel, and yeah, it's big, but I found it to be very easy to walk around.
Cana Excursions, we recommend puntacanaoffresort.com, where you can browse and book incredible Punta Cana adventures to make your vacation memorable. This reviewer vows to never again visit the Ocean El Faro, one of her reasons being that the pools were okay, but there was hardly any shade as there were only 10 umbrellas available for each large pool, and the trees were not mature enough to provide any shade. She is 100% right about this. There isn't any shade around the pools. We did find this to be a major inconvenience. There are literally like 10 umbrellas for shade around the pool, and you can imagine that all are taken very quickly. We resorted to being under one of the wooden bridge that goes above the pool like almost the entire time we were in the water, because the sun, of course, is extremely powerful in Punta Cana. They really should make arrangements to bring either more umbrellas out or plant full-grown trees around the pool to bring shade to that area, because that is a major inconvenience. She goes on to say, also, forget about going to the beach. The seaweed was never cleaned up and it was stinky. At one point, it was so high it reached my armpit, and I'm 5'2". When we asked if someone was going to clean it, they said someone cleans it up every day. It never got done, just worse every day. Let me also read what this other reviewer said so we can tie them both together. He says that the lazy river was really nice, but the beach is awful. So much seaweed. We were told that the beach is a public beach, and that's why the hotel does not clean the beach for seaweed, which we were not made aware of. These two reviews were written in the summer of 2022. For that reason, I do believe that they encountered tremendous amount of seaweed, because 2022 is a record-breaking year for seaweed in Punta Cana. Uvero Alto does not get as much seaweed as other parts of Punta Cana, but the Ocean El Faro does a very poor job of cleaning its part of the beach. We also stayed at a nearby hotel in the Uvero Alto beach called the Dreams Onyx, and they did an amazing job of cleaning up their beach. So there is no excuse for the Ocean El Faro to have this much seaweed in their beach. They do clean it up every day, but we did see who cleans it up. It's a poor single man shoveling seaweed in a crate, and him alone cannot do it. They need more people and more equipment. Other hotels use even tractors to pick the amount of seaweed that gets accumulated. So a single man cannot get the job done. So Ocean El Faro, please get your act together. That excuse about being a public beach does not fly with us, because Uvero Alto is a very secluded beach. And it is true that all the beaches in DR are public by law. It is almost impossible for locals to get to the Uvero Alto beach, because every piece of shore is occupied by a hotel, and you would have to enter via the hotel to use that beach. So the Ocean El Faro is using a cheap excuse to not clean the beach, because the other hotels around the Ocean El Faro do clean their stretch of beach. So please do it.
This reviewer says a bizarre culture of staff hunting you down to write reviews for them, which they want to bet beforehand and have you submit whilst they are standing there over you. This happened on multiple occasions, and it was very frustrating. I will leave my own review on my own time if I wish. The same thing happened to us while we were in the pool. a waiter came by with drinks and he wanted us to review the hotel right there on the spot, and he wanted to check the review first, and we told him like, hey, no, right now we don't want to, we will do it at the end of our stay. Do the same. Don't let them sweet talk you into writing a review right there, because they will pressure you to write a nice review and not an honest one. The same happened to us once we were staying at the Lopesan, and this is a very awful practice. The hotels should stop doing this. This reviewer says, terrible service. Appearance of the resort is promising, but service and staff could be more attentive. This review says everything we wanted to say about this hotel. The hotel is beautiful, the grounds, the landscape, we loved it. But the staff is not doing well. They have problems with communication, conflicting information, and it seems like no one is doing their job properly. And that is a problem. I mean, this resort is huge, it's beautiful, and it seems like they made a huge investment, but they're not either they're not training their staff properly or they're not paying them well.
This review says, me and my fiance went to the pool and asked for towels at the hut. They refused us towels as they said we need a towel card, which we found out that it should have been issued on check-in. So no towels that day unless, again, I walk to the reception because no one answers the phone. Some hotels in the area do give you cards for towels. They resemble your room key, so this is not uncommon. What we did notice about this review is that it happened to them, but it also happened to us that during check-in, they're supposed to give you the cards for the towels, and they didn't give us to us either. And we only noticed when we went to the hut to ask for the towels that we needed the cards, and we did have to walk all the way to the reception area, which is kind of far, which was kind of annoying. And this ties back to what John said earlier about the staff and not doing their job properly. We don't really blame the staff because these people try to do their best and they do get paid not so much. So we do blame it on training and the management. So they should do a better job of better communicating to the staff about doing the job they're supposed to do. So we don't really blame them, but we do blame management for all the miscommunications going around the hotel.
This guest had this experience. Paint drippings everywhere. It's weird. I think this person is referring to paint dripping in her room, because the same happened to my sister's room. When she did her check-in, there was a lot of paint dripping from the ceiling. It was all over the floor. And I think what happens is they see a stain on the wall or on the ceiling and they just paint it, and they do it real quick because they don't have much time and there's a check-in coming, and that's, I think, what happens. When my sister had this problem, she had to be changed from her room because in addition to the paint dripping, it was a smell all over her room because of the painting, so she had to be changed.
This guest writes, the lazy river was a lovely feature and we enjoyed spending time in it. However, there was hardly any rings to float around in. We were told if you want a ring, then you need to buy one. She is correct all around. The lazy river is really very beautiful and a very nice feature in this hotel. We did enjoy using it all throughout our stay, but we did find that it was hard to get your hands on a floaty. So if you got a floaty and you got in, you knew that if you got out, then you would have to spend I don't know how much time looking for a floaty again. So you tend to spend more time in the lazy river. So I imagine other people wanting to get into the lazy river are kept waiting because there are not enough floaties. So it's a vicious circle of people wanting to get in and not enough floaties being around. But they definitely should have more floaties because for the number of guests, they are not nearly enough. But we were not told at any time that we needed to buy one. We just needed to wait for one to become available.
Click here for a full tour of the Ocean El Faro Punta Cana. It will help you decide whether you want to go there or not.